Heads. The second thing, of course, is employee engagement. And we've talked a little bit about that already, but I just wanted to give you some facts. I did at the beginning, but here's one more. Sears said a 5% increase in our employee engagement led to a 1.8% increase in customer loyalty and a 0.5% increase in financial results. Doesn't matter, but think about the size of Sears. All I'm saying is engagement equals an increase in the bottom line, whatever that means to your organization. Getting people more engaged. So I wanted to give you a tool. I thought if I could give you one tool that you could use right away to engage people in your organization, then I've done what I tried to do this morning with you as leaders and potential leaders. Again, I don't know, we did skip a page if you're looking, because I think we did those at the beginning, what you're looking at now. But anyway, I think your customers have two mountains to climb. Let me tell you a story. In another lifetime, and I don't mean a Shirley MacLaine other life, I mean another work life, I was a manufacturer's rep. Doesn't matter what that is. But the factory for whom I worked decided to get creative. And one year, instead of bringing us to the factory to see the new line of goods, they took us on an Outward Bound experience. Anybody familiar with Outward Bound? Dan, anybody? What is it? How do you explain it? What is it?
Outdoor adventure of some kind?
Yeah, it's like an outdoor wilderness adventure, and it's always based around team building and leadership, and it's based around an activity depending on where in the world it's held. The one we went to was in Leadville, Colorado. It was based around rock climbing. Now understand something, I have never in my life had an ambition to climb a rock. It was one of those things where the company said, be there, and you had to show up. Kind of like some of you this morning. But anyway, so they spent the first 4 or 5 hours with us training us on how to climb rocks and safety and everything else. After lunch, they took 4 of us out and they put us at the base of a sheer 90-foot rock face and said, you're going to climb to the top. Now, this may not sound like a lot of rock to some of you, but this is 9 stories of sheer rock. And I need more of an incentive than some guy telling me to climb the rock. So I remember turning to Craig on my left. I said, Craig, I'll bet you $25 I can get there first. He said, you're on. But I forgot about the other 2 guys. Other guy said, wait, I'm in. Other guy said, wait, I'm in. So now it's 9 stories of rock and $100 worth of rock. There's an incentive here. Now, each one of us has a guide from Outward Bound. I'll never forget Joe. Joe was my guide, because at that point, Joe whispered in my ear. He said, Jeff, for $50, I'll get you there first. I think this is what the brochure meant about team building, right? I said, safe and first, Joe, you're on. He said, here's what you do. Don't let the others see. Right there at about 2.5 feet, do you see that little ledge sticking out? I said, I see it. He said, when you start, stick your right foot on that ledge. And see this rock right here at eye level? He said, grab that rock with your right hand. I've done this 1,000 times before. Next, he said, and here's the key, Jeff. At about 13 or 14 feet, do you see that branch sticking out with any leaves on it? I said, I see it. He said, it doesn't look like it'll hold your weight. Grab that branch, pull yourself up. I've done this 1,000 times before. Next. And so verbally, he walked me up the whole face of the rock. Somebody yelled, go. I put my foot at 2.5 feet. I grab the rock. I pull myself up. I'm on my way. I go to grab that branch at 13, 14 feet. I can't reach it. No matter what I do, I can't reach it. And every time I try, he starts to yell at me. You know, grab the stupid branch. I said, Joe, I can't. I'm going to die. I'm 2.5 feet off the ground. Right? I have 1 foot on the ground, and I'm going to die. But it's my perspective. So as I'm reaching for the branch, I keep rubbing my knuckles against a rock that's sticking out. So instinctively, I grab the rock, pull myself up. It holds my weight. As I do, he yells at me again. No, 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 that's not right. I said, it's right for me, Joe. I grab something, and he goes, no, you can't win that way. He yelled at me the entire way up the face of the rock. Left hand ready. Did I make it to the top? Absolutely. Did I win? Absolutely not. I'm still bitter about that, actually. But it taught me a lesson that I got to share with you. It's this. I have to believe that Outward Bound has given me the right tools, the ropes, they call them the belays and everything else. Then I have to believe that my goal of getting to the top of the rock truly is the goal. But as long as I use the tools they give me and the goal doesn't change, who cares how I get there? Part of being an effective leader and engaging people is being able to say, here are the tools, here's the goal, tell me the way to get there. Who cares? So this part of this presentation, I need you to be a little more flexible than you've ever been before. Are you willing to do this? And let me explain what I mean. See, I think that our people always listen to one radio station, many of you who know, in the Pittsburgh area, WIIFM. What radio station is that? What's in it for me? Exactly. Everybody if we start with that perception that everybody listens to what's in it for me, then we start to become more customer-centric. So there are 2 mountains to climb, as I like to say. The first is this. Our customer, internal and external, as a leader, our customer needs to know that we're listening. Guys, this becomes a little fluffy for us, right? We need to know that we're listening. So I thought I'd give you some tools that will help you to tell people I'm listening. And the first tool is a question. It's a what-effect question. How does it work? Typically, somebody comes to us with a problem. I don't care what you do for a living. We are always in the mode of fixing it. They come to us with a problem. Let's fix it. Instead, what I'm going to urge you to do is bite your tongue for a minute. Bite your tongue and say to somebody, what effect is that going to have on the organization? What effect will that have on your job? What effect will that have on your family? Something that says, I'm listening. It's just different than we've ever done before. We're stepping back and say, I am listening. And what you're going to hear is this. Now that you mention it, or I hadn't really thought about it, but, so all we've done is taken one step deeper and said, I am listening. But listening isn't just good enough. There's two mountains, remember? The second mountain is that we have to let people know that we understand. Want to get people engaged? Let them know you're listening and that you understand. There's another question. I think it's the most powerful question in the English language. I'll tease you a little bit. When we employed this in our company, which is now my advertising firm probably 27 years ago, it completely changed the way I worked with people. It completely changed the way I worked with my external and my internal customer. It increased our bottom line by 20-something%. And then the added benefit, it changed the way I parent my kids as well. It's another question. There are the blanks. First two words of a question. What are they? What if? Yeah, it's probably in your handout. No, I'm okay. What if? Absolutely. What if? I'm going to take you through a series of what ifing that will get people engaged automatically. At its very basic level, what ifing does one simple thing. It shatters the stereotype of the experience people expect to have with you. How many of you have a meeting at your place of business weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, something, right? All right, here's what I want you to do. If you have any control over the meeting, I want you to appoint somebody the what if questioner of the day. Go to them the night before and say, your job is to come to the meeting before we start tomorrow. I want you to ask the most bizarre, totally unwork-related, unreal what-if question you can think of. What if humans didn't need to sleep? What if we had a 12-year-old president? No comments. What if, I just had a client who emailed me and said, okay, I tried it. And the guy came and he said, what if hair grew inward instead of out? Maybe you guys know. I don't know. So, yeah, okay. So then you go around the table, go around the office, and you have everybody answer it. Why? What do you think is going to happen? What can you imagine? Creative thinking, and people start to do what? They start to have some fun, absolutely, and they start to be more engaged. Why? Because they're sitting there saying, anything I say during this meeting couldn't be nearly as bizarre as what just went on here. Just that it's very big. Let me prove it to you. My favorite what-if question. And now just play it with me, and I only want benefits. Ready? What if you had 7 fingers on each hand? Quickly, benefits.
Type faster.
You could type faster. What else does that remind you of, Brenda? What else does that remind you? A piano. You could play like a 1-minute waltz in 49 seconds, right? What else? Come on. Yes. Carry more things like more beer bottles, more olives. Right. I don't know. What else? I heard some up here. Come on. Think sports, anything. You could count to 14, right? Sure. Actually, 24. We still got toes. And they couldn't call it a decimal system anymore. What else? Come on. Better massage. Ooh, think of that. 14 fingers. How about this? How about this? Jane, we could give each other high. 7. Sure. What else? They might have to add another hole to the bowling ball. Steelers might have won against Tampa Bay, whatever. I don't know. What else? More jewelry. Thank you. Number 1 answer. Anything else? Yeah. How about your golf grip? Here's the thing. I'm not known to be the most tactful person in the world. So driving this morning, I found a great example. You ever stop beside somebody at a stoplight who thinks they're invisible? Like, I'm down here and I'm looking at a guy and I'm thinking, does he think that I can't see what he's doing? And I'm thinking, if he had 7 fingers on each hand, he could pick and wave at the same time. Right? Sure. Just saying. Anybody from New York originally? New York City? Oh, let's pick on them. New Yorkers have a different attitude than the rest of the world. I love working in New York. I was working in downtown Manhattan years ago, and I said, what if you had 7 fingers on each hand? I love this answer. Guy said, that's easy. I'd name each one after a day of the week, Monday through Sunday. He said, when I miss my cab or my taxi in downtown Manhattan, I give the guy a Wednesday. Okay, I'm not going to demonstrate, but you're smiling. At its very basic level, that's all it does. Shatters the stereotype of the experience people expect to have. Let's take it a step deeper. These two look like they need to be picked on. Hi, and you're wearing the badge. So Alicia?
Yes.
Alicia.
Alicia.
Alicia. What do you do for a living?
I'm an administrator.
With whom?
Software Engineering Institute.
Okay. So that's enough. Too much information for my tiny mind. So I come to you one day and I say, Alicia, Alicia, what time do you normally, wait, I should ask you first. What time do you normally start work?
About 8 a.m.
No, not what time do you get to work. What time do you start work? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. So 8 o'clock. Okay. That's okay. 8 o'clock. So I come to you, Alicia, and I say, look, we've got this huge project we've been working on. I can't finish without your portion. I know you normally get here at 8 o'clock. I want you here at 7 o'clock tomorrow to get it done. And I turn and walk away. How do you feel, Alicia? Fine. Did a Wednesday come to mind? I turned my back. I don't know. Okay. You do it. Perfect. So I come to you a week later. I say, thanks so much about last week. Another biggie, another big project. I know about the 8 o'clock thing. I want you here at 6:30 tomorrow to get this one done. I walk away. How do you feel? A little less fine? It was fine, now it's okay. See? So here's the way I used to work with people. Now, I was far more tactful. I'm trying to prove a point. Alicia, you're part of the team. I can't do it without you. Could you please come in tomorrow? And when I walk away, besides Wednesdays, I'd be saying, how am I going to do that? And then many years ago, I discovered What If, just at this level. Same scenario. Alicia, 8 o'clock, big project, blah, blah, blah. What if you came in tomorrow at 7 o'clock to get it done? I want to teach you a very sophisticated leadership technique called BYT. Bite your tongue. I can't tell you how many leaders, CEOs, supervisors I've sat with over the last 20-something years who will ask a question and then answer it themselves. Instead, it's time to listen. What if you came in at 7 instead of 8 tomorrow? I'll make this up. Alicia says, Jeff, I can't. I can't get my youngest child to the babysitter before 7:15, which means I can't get here till 7:30. Could you get here every day this week at 7:30 and get it done? She said, yes, and if I can't, I can stay late Thursday. What did I open up? A dialogue that I didn't allow to exist before because of the way I worked with people. So I took it one step deeper. I said, if it works at work, it'll work at home. Big mistake. Oh, yeah. How many of you are parents of any age children? The majority of you. You'll understand. In our household, we have always used a disciplinary strategy called timeout. Familiar with this? Timeout? Oh, yeah. My parents thought that we were totally out of our minds. Just hit the kid. Different philosophy, that's all. But we've always used timeout. And I remember when my oldest, who's now 25, was about 3, and I was angry. I don't remember why, but I was angry. Get into your room, you get into timeout, you figure out why you did what you just did. In her mind, very threatening. And it was about that time that I discovered What If. And to this day, no matter how angry I was with my girls, I always started with what if. What if you went in your room and you figured out why you just hit your little sister? In her mind, less threatening, and it opened up a dialogue. Not that I would listen to a word they had to say when I was angry with them. Actually, if you have young adults like I do, I still do it out of habit. What if? And they'll go look at me and go, I'll tell you why, Dad. And we have this conversation that just blows me away. Why? Do not open up a dialogue with your people if you're not prepared to hear what you're about to hear. It's not appropriate at all times of the day. But want to get people engaged and open a dialogue? That's where it starts, with what-ifing. So let's take it one final step. And this is going to sound a little bizarre until I bring it back to what you all do. I need a coffee cup. Are you done?
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll use it then. Aaron, thanks for meeting with me last week about your trade show and what you should give away. We went back and we brainstormed, and let me explain. In my old advertising business, one of the streams of income was promotional products, give away stuff with your name on it, your logo, just so you know. So here's how I used to sell. Meeting with me about your trade show, we went back, we brainstormed. We think you should give away paper coffee cups. Let me tell you why. We can put your 15-color logo on one side and your mission statement on the other. When people come into the booth, give them water instead of coffee. They're going to expect coffee, but instead, Health Kick and everything else will be walking around with a cup of water. People are going to say, where'd you get that? At Aaron's booth. Aaron, what do you think? And you know what my customers would say? Great idea, Jeff. What else have you got? I'd say, no, you don't understand. I've been doing this for 20 years. What happens? We sell our ideas as leaders like this. And if we hit hard enough, we win. Instead, imagine the same scenario with what if. Aaron, thanks for meeting with me last week. Trade show, blah, blah, blah. What if you use paper coffee cups for your next trade show giveaway? BYT, I just opened up a dialogue. Now, I'm listening. Aaron says, Jeff, I can't. They look too cheap. Well, what if we use plastic? She says, yes. What if we use a plastic coffee cup or plastic beer stein, and it says, because our theme is flow through ideas. I'm making this up. She said, I go, yeah, what if we use a plastic beer stein when you put cold water and the logo changes color? She says, what if we use our old logo? Yeah, what if, back and forth, until when I leave, what does Lisa say to Aaron say to almost everybody with whom she works? Almost every time. What do you imagine? Not just great interaction, even more powerful than that. I had a great idea, and I want to work with Jeff Tobe because something feels comfortable. See, I wasn't trying to pull the wool over Aaron's eyes. I truly believe that this was the right answer, that paper coffee cups were the right answer. But if she doesn't believe it, it doesn't matter what I think. In opening up a dialogue with What If, we both agreed that I walked in selling paper coffee cups. I walked out, I can't remember, plastic beer steins, right? Why? Because in opening up a dialogue, we both agreed that plastic beer steins just might be the second right answer to the exact same challenge of what do I give away to my trade show booth. Remember the top of the rock? As long as Erin uses the tools I give her and the goal, what do I give away in my trade show booth, doesn't change, who cares how we get there? But the power in this is that they're sequential. See, you can't use one without the other. How does it sound? Somebody comes to you with a problem. The first question we ask is, what effect is that going to have on the organization? Well, now that you mention it, or I hadn't really thought about it, but the next question is, what if we could and open up a dialogue to get buy-in every time? Now, you can't ask a what-if question by itself. Just saying. If you do, it sounds like you had a solution and you just put what if in front of it. What if we, whatever, oh yeah, you've been thinking about that for days. Instead, they have to go sequentially. Problem, what effect, and what if.